I tell you, they just don't make TV guys like they used to. Look at this. Look at this. My TV guy from 1982 is destroyed. They don't make anything that lasts anymore, do they? Well, it's time for a nooner. That's right. Don't worry. I'm not going to tell you any stories about toys that are being urinated on. That was yesterday if you missed it. Today we're going to go back and talk Aliens, the Kenner line released in 1992. Now, this is really when I started getting into collecting toys. I was really, diving deep into it. I was getting the vintage stuff. I was going back getting the Star Wars vintage stuff thanks to a local comic book store that started selling them. I was getting into Batman animated series, and I was really digging deep into the action figure craze. This is really where I think the collector market really started to take off for toys around 1992. This Alien line, let's be honest, it was probably one of the first toys really aimed for collectors, because I don't think many kids in 1992 was watching this. Now, there's been rumors that this was going to be based on a cartoon. I actually did a video laying out the theory that it was going to be based on a cartoon by Fox that never did air. But I've come to learn that that's really not true. There was never any cartoon plans whatsoever. So, a lot of these figures don't look like the character in the movie, so it's probably just likeness rights issue right there, or maybe they just wanted to change things to make them appeal to kids more. Not saying these weren't aimed for kids, but we are talking about an old movie that was kind of old at the time for kids and R-rated. So this is the first toy line I think that really, maybe toy business, superhero stuff, and maybe the Batman animated, but this is the one I felt anyway, for me personally, was really like, hey, collectors, kids that grew up in the 80s and now in their 20s, look at this, Aliens, something you would have loved to have as a kid. Now, I'm not going to talk about the vehicles and stuff that came. We're just going to look at the figures and the aliens, and really just, that's more for my in-depth videos. This is more just talking about, hey, that time period, I love it, and hear what you guys think, because like I said, I really got into this toy line in the early 90s. It hit at the perfect time, 92, when I was just getting into collecting toys. And I'll be honest with you, at this time I was buying these figures up, I've never seen Aliens or Alien, but these are all from Aliens, the sequel. Now, I say I've never seen it, and that's not entirely true. It was one of those shows that were movies that was on HBO a lot, or it was on TV a lot, and I always seen parts and pieces of it. I could tell you the basic storyline of it. I could tell you almost anything that happens in it, but I don't think there was a time where I can remember sitting down and actually watching from beginning to end. If it was on HBO or something, and I flipped the TV on, I would watch it. That's something I kind of miss with TV nowadays. You got all these streaming services. Sure, you got everything at your fingertips. But there was a time back in, when you only had a couple channels, like Black 2. And you would just flip it around. And you didn't have much choice, so you just land on some random movie, and you fall in love with it. Something you would have never watched, if it was left up to you, if you had hundreds of stuff to pick from. But I've seen Aliens since then, don't get me wrong. Went to an IMAX theater sometime around in the 90s, saw it on a huge screen. I think that was the original one. But I've seen them all, the first two, number of times since then. Never really got into 3, watched it once, never cared to see it again, and then kind of lost interest in the whole Alien franchise, to be honest with you. It would be interesting if they did like a reboot of Aliens, but this time had a ship full of aliens where they find a human, kind of swap it around, like a gender swap. They do female reboots, but this time it's like a group of aliens, and they go out and they pick up this human that sneaks aboard the ships and starts killing them. That would be a kind of cool little reboot right there. But anyway, we're going to look at these figures. Again, this ain't really in depth or anything. That would be for a later video if we ever get around to it. But let's look at Corporal Hicks right here. Corporal Hicks. Wasn't one of my favorites, but it was a soldier guy. It was okay. Again, didn't really look nothing like the character for the film. But I always loved these cards, and they came with a little rolled up comic book. Never did read them. I remember getting the comic book out, looking at the art. I can't remember ever reading the comics or getting into the comics. This came with some weapons and stuff, as you can see here, and some stickers. Some little bitty stickers you would need tweezers to put on to anything. So this is my favorite, and this was a hot one. This was like the one people really wanted the most. It was kind of hard to find. It wasn't because it might have been shipped like less than some of the others maybe, but I think it was just because everybody wanted it so bad. That's why this one was hard to find. And Bishop. And again, this one completely looks like nothing from the film. I mean, this one's got like Geordie LaForge sunglasses on or something. It don't look anything like the character from the film. And on the back of the card, they actually airbrushed the actual picture of the actor to make it look like this. But it was just bad. You could pull it apart and it came apart. Came with this big old cannon. It was awesome. It was an awesome figure. It also came with some stickers. You had to use tweezers. I don't think I ever put those stickers on. But they were awesome. And again, it came with the mini comic. Then we've got Drake. I said it wrong. Drake. I don't have much memories of this figure. I remember he's in a pose all the time. I never really like figures was always in a pose. But this wasn't one. This is probably my least favorite of Series 1 anyway. So, and again, he came with little stickers. And now we got the main character or human character from the line. But let's be honest, most people are buying these for the aliens themselves. But we got Ripley right here. Again, looks nothing like Sigourney Weaver at all. Comes with also a big cannon, but not in a pose here. It looks like some generic female figure that Kenner had laying around a warehouse and repainted it and threw it in this box, to be honest with you. Nice looking card. The card picture may look a little bit more like Sigourney Weaver than the figure, but they none really look like her too much. And here we go. Okay, Apone. I had to look that one up to make sure I was saying it right. I thought I was, and I was saying it right. This one here is got like a robot arm on him or something. But the best part about this, he has a yellow shirt that says no bugs. And you can buy that yellow shirt at junkmanmerch.com. No bugs. This is also probably not my favorite. It's okay. It's one I just didn't really think much about after that. Because like I said, everybody was caring about the aliens. That's what we wanted in this line was the aliens. So let's look right here. The deluxe figure of the line, Queen Alien. I mean, it's the alien, it's the Queen. Now, this is probably the one most people out there wanted the most, but this isn't the alien I wanted the most. It doesn't have that, I wanted that more basic alien look that when you think alien, you think that. Now, what this line did is just some kind of morph hybrids, was like we take an animal, mix it with an alien. So we've got Bull Alien. That's right, Bull Alien. Cross from an alien and a bull, and each little alien came with a face hugger that would fit on the figure. It's just a little piece of rubber, little thing. It was kind of neat. Of course, they came with comics also, and their little bubble. The figures had little square bubbles. The aliens all came in an egg-shaped bubble. I really like that. Was a nice little touch. Let's talk about Gorilla Alien. You think of that, mixing a gorilla with an alien, you got Gorilla Alien, and this is when you squeeze his head and he can shoot water. Now, this one was hard to find. You're probably thinking, no, wasn't this thing was a dime a dozen? Well, when they first hit in my local area, we used to hang out at the comic book store, and there was another guy that hanged out at the comic book store that was a local artist. His name was Tony Harris, and he actually did the artwork for the alien comic that came with the gorilla figure. So around in that collector community, that comic book community, everybody wanted this. The comic book stores, well, we have one major comic book store, and then some little ones would pop up here and there. They all wanted this because they knew they could resell it. The comic book store I hung out at, Tony was always there, so that guy was always trying to get him to sign some of them and sell them that way. So these were hard to find because they knew they could sell them to comic book stores, or people just wanted it because, hey, a local artist wrote this comic book. And Tony actually went on to, a couple years later, I think in '94, to work on Starman. I guess it was for DC. Was it for DC? I can't remember if it was for DC or not. Some of you may know. His name was Tony Harris, and I just remember it was hard to find. Then once they started hitting more, it was easier to find. But right there, first, everybody said, we got to get this. Tony did the comic for it, so that was really cool. Here's the one I like the best out of the Alien line, out of the Alien Monster line, and that's Scorpion Alien. This is more the basic alien look. It might not look exactly like the movie, it's not all black, but it's the one that you got to be like an alien figure, and it looks really good, really great detail. Like I said, this was '92. I was really starting to get into collecting, and I just this line brings back memory of that time period. It's a lot of fun. Early, how it is, early 20s. You're out of school. You don't really have an official job yet. You might have some part-time stuff. You have money to waste. And it's a good time period. Like the Star Wars vintage stuff and the early 80s stuff, puts me back in that mind frame. Seeing these aliens and some of this early 90s stuff really puts me into that. Going to the comic book store, hanging out at the comic book store with the guys, going with the owner of the comic book store, track down toys so he could get them before he shop. Me going with my buddy Russ, Toys R Us and places to track down figures. But getting there at that comic book store the day they open on Wednesday, because I know, although they don't put it out to Thursday, they let me get Action Figure News Digest and Action Figures News and Review. I know later you said you guys bought Toy Fair. I was never really a fan of Toy Fair. I am, or was then, a collector snob, and I thought that was kiddie junk, to be honest with you. I didn't like it. Now, you know how it is. When you start collecting something, there's always a group of you think you're snobby about it. And at times I can be snobby about it. Anyway, let me know what you think about this alien line. Did you collect them? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Let me know in the comments below. Maybe you were like, they don't look nothing like the movie. I don't want them at all. Or maybe you're like me and my friends where we had to go out and hunt for them because we wanted them so much. Let me know that in more of the comments, and we'll talk in soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.